John Updike is the founder and president of Open Primaries, a group that advocates for nonpartisan primary systems in the U.S. He joins me now live from Chicago. Thanks for staying up late with us. Welcome to The Story Is for the first time.
Great to be here, Alex.
Why do you think an open primary works so well? And do you think that the ranked choice system that they have in Alaska is the best version of all?
Well, I think the reason an open primary works so well is very, very simple. It allows everybody to participate in round one. And when you do that, you're enfranchising independent voters, which, by the way, are the largest and fastest growing segment of the electorate. But even more than that, you're incentivizing candidates to speak to people that are not in their base. And when that happens, you start to see some new political conversations happen. And I think that's very positive for the country. A number of your panelists earlier in the hour were talking about how everything seems so locked in, that there's very little space for anything new. And opening up the primaries is not a silver bullet, but it certainly creates more oxygen for new things to emerge.
Here in California, we've had open primaries for some time now.
Yep.
And Democrats and Republican leaders are now saying it didn't work. And there is a push from the parties to try to change it. Do you have real examples from a place like California where an open primary has actually led to a more independent person be in there? I mean, no independent has won statewide in this system.
Yeah, but the thing is, the voters have much more power in California. And if you look at their last primary, you had 41% turnout. Compare that to New York, where they have a closed primary, 9% turnout. The number of candidates that have to build coalitions that include Democrats, Republicans, and independents has skyrocketed in California. The ability of Democrats and Republicans to do business together, to work on legislation together. The culture in Sacramento under the old closed primary system, Democrats and Republicans couldn't have lunch together. And now they're writing bills together. California has huge problems, but they have a political system that gives voters and cooperative politicians some tools to address that.
I mean, Fabian Nunez and Arnold Schwarzenegger were pretty close back in the day. But just to the point about ranked choice voting, which is what we're seeing in Alaska right now, a state where you have a senator like Lisa Murkowski, who is certainly pretty independent of President Trump, not his favorite senator. Do you think that that is the best expression of an open primary?
You know, it's early days, and I think there's room for a lot of experimentation. The people in Alaska opted to do a top four with ranked choice voting. The people of California, Washington, Nebraska opted for top two. I think there's some simpleness to a top two. It creates a head-to-head in November without a complicated counting system. But I really think that people should be free to choose what system works best for their state.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. Really appreciate it. John Updike, as we have a conversation about...
I would just...
Oh, lastly.
One last thing, Alex. The fact that the parties hate the open primary in California is a signal that it is working. That tells me everything I need to know about the effectiveness of it.
Thank you so much.